What could you accomplish with 50 days straight of work? No sleep breaks, no food breaks, no water breaks, just 50 days of work without stopping for a single second. You could become fluent in 2 or 3 languages, climb Mount Everest, or read The Loud House Revamped by James Dean 5842. Boasting a disturbingly large estimated 18 million word count, The Loud House Revamped is the longest piece of literature ever created. Now, I know you see the screen and it says that it only has close to 17 million words. That's not actually true. That value is listed because Fanfiction.net uses 24-bit integers, which means that the site cannot list a value over 16,777,215. The actual word count has been unknown for years, so we just assume that it's somewhere around 18 or 19 million. Now, against my better judgment, I read it. Now, the whole thing, obviously, I don't have that kind of time. Hell, nobody does. But I skimmed it. The first thing you'll notice is that it's bad. I mean, obviously, it's 18 million words long. I'd have been shocked if more than a couple thousand of them were good. The whole thing is written in screenplay form, and the author, in typical fanfiction fashion, put themselves into the story. I'll give a quick overview of one of the chapters. This is only the 4th one, so I think this is one of the ones where he was still putting a little bit of effort in. Now, this is an anti-bullying chapter, so be serious and listen closely, you might just learn something. The chapter starts with this dude Lincoln getting absolutely dicked on. The kids at school, they pants him, they tie his shoes together so he trips, they fill his locker with garbage, they put a whoopee cushion on his seat so he makes a fart noise. Everything, and he falls for every part of it like a fucking dumbass. Side note, I couldn't imagine being pissed if someone put a whoopee cushion on my seat. That sounds funny as hell, man. No one's used one of those unironically in like 5 years. Then JD comes in, calls all the bullies buzzard faces, and they run away. First off, no idea why he says buzzard faces. I don't know what that means. I don't know why it strikes enough fear in the hearts of the bullies to make them immediately flee the scene. I don't know. Also, the character JD is meant to be James Dean, the author of this fanfiction. So every character loves JD, obviously, because JD wrote it. JD can do no wrong and is the most powerful and feared character in all of fiction. So, JD and Lincoln walk home, and JD notices that there's gum in Lincoln's hair. I don't know how he didn't notice it getting there, but he didn't. And now we have a new problem. Lincoln has a small flashback where we get this goldmine of a line. Lincoln runs around the house to get scissors to cut the gum out of his hair, and then his sisters find out that he's getting bullied. Oh no! So they grab a random kid and beat the shit out of him. I guess they thought he was the bully. JD quote-unquote growls like a tiger at the kid, and he pisses himself out of fear. There's a lot of pissing and shitting in these 18 million words. I wish there was a more eloquent way to phrase that, but there's not. People are pissing and shitting all over the place. So, it turns out that Lincoln's bully is a girl, which means that she likes him, and then they make up. But before the chapter ends, for seemingly no fucking reason, the self-insert character says, I'm not only Lincoln's best friend and brother figure, I'm also a protector for him, because I will be his guardian angel. Watch this. I show everyone my greatest gift. I spread black angel wings that are darker than the night. Had no effect on the story, and obviously after everyone goes, oh wow, you're so cool. Now, I didn't realize this initially, but this is actually the script from a real episode of the show, The Loud House, but James just picked a few places for his character to jump in and do some cool shit. So it's just the episode, but then this fucking JD guy jumps in and says, what? That was crazy, and like that's it. He barely even wrote that fucking chapter. And he does this a shit ton. Not forever, but for the first 20 or so chapters. Something about writing an 18 million word long piece that you might expect is the fact that you're gonna run out of shit to do pretty quickly. Now, James gets around this by introducing nearly every fictional character ever into the story. Even some real life people, which we'll see later. If you've ever wanted to know what would happen if a My Little Pony forgot to return a slab to King Ramses' crypt, this is definitely for you. If you look at the more recent installments, you'll find a paragraph at the beginning of every chapter that just recounts the characters that appear in that chapter. It's usually a bit over 200 people. So that takes up about 450 words every single fucking chapter. Maybe you think that's a cop-out, but I have no idea what you're talking about. Does the excessive listing of characters' names probably add up to around 1 million of the words? Sure, but... I'm joking, there's no defense for it. It just makes this thing really annoying to read. There's plenty of other factors that make this horrible to read, though. Once he got a few hundred chapters in, you can tell that he ran out of ideas. Let me read the beginning of chapter 2187 to you, where JD and 220 other random people land on a random planet. I can't wait to see what this planet is like. I hope it's a fun one. Me too. I know it will be fun and cool. It sure will. Yeah. I'm really excited for this one too. I am too, Canna. Do you get the gist? This is all of the dialogue, and essentially all of the 18 million words. The dialogue kind of reminds me of when in 6th grade, after reading a chapter of fucking The Outsiders or some shit, they put you in a discussion, and no one's brain is developed enough to really say anything worthwhile, so it's just, I like Pony Boy. I think Soda Pop is funny because of his jokes. I figure I should elaborate on how I said there's a lot of shitting and pissing earlier. I'll elaborate. What happens is, one character gets mad at another character, yells at them, and then the other character pisses or shits themselves. Sometimes it's not even one shit. Gladys Sharp shits herself 15 times after Fluttershy calls her a big, fat, evil, cruel meanie. And I think what happened is that James felt the effect of a character shitting themselves once was kind of losing its punch. So, he upped it to 15 times. And just about 20 chapters later, some guy named Alejandro, after getting yelled at, defecated not once, not twice, not 15 times, not 100 times, but 100,000 times. Which seems like more of a nutrition issue than fear. And the highest amount of shitting in one occasion at the moment is 5 million. Again, because they got yelled at. The author also likes to get their politics involved. Not in the sense that JD will explicitly say something like, "Oh, the Democrats stole the election!" Not usually, anyways. Alright, let me give you an example. In chapter 1411, JD and probably 200 other fictional characters are walking around in Bulgaria when they see a bunch of people running away from something. After saying, "uh-oh," 3 times in a row, JD says, "Donald Trump!" Now, obviously, Trump isn't going to talk at all, like he does in real life, because I'm certain that this fanfiction is just a stream of consciousness and not a single line in here has been looked over before hitting publish. This is my world, you fucker! Trump, I should have known you would show your blonde, ugly fucking face and hit me in the back like the fucking coward you are. You don't belong here! You are the one that doesn't belong here. You and your supporters have tormented the world for far too long. I'll never submit to the likes of you. Alright then. Then we do this the hard way. And another thing, you were never president to begin with at all. Hillary Clinton deserved to be president, not you. You cheated your way to power. You fuck-faced freak. Then JD lists everything that they don't like about Trump, and then they all shoot him. He typed out "bang" over 1,000 times. So who do you think he voted for? Wild guess. Sometimes he just copies and pastes something from online in an attempt to eat up as many words as possible. Here in chapter 1739, JD basically says, "Hey, let's watch Encanto," and then just copy and pasted the entire synopsis of the movie Encanto. Then after they go, "Whoa, what a great movie." I guess this ate up a solid 1,000 words at least. My favorite thing is when there's a normal conversation going on, and then a random fucking character that you had no idea was there pops in. Why the fuck is Bart Simpson here? How did he get here? They're on a fucking alternate burrito planet. What is he doing here? Another thing that happens about 4 times a chapter is before they end up fighting whichever meaningless villain they find, all of them yell out their attack name, which takes up around 100 words each time. There's a point at which you don't need to write down that a character yells Cinco de Mayo food element style tacos. Why do they need to say that? It seems like this entire fanfiction is just a way for James to feel powerful. You know, just about every other chapter ends with him defeating the villain and rescuing a bunch of beautiful women who then join his harem. There's constantly a harem of beautiful women following him around who constantly want to fuck him. Like what you see, big boy? Oh yeah. Hope you're ready for 4 weeks of intense lovemaking. Cause trust us, it's going to be wild, and it's going to be intense. Hope you're ready for a wild ride. Whoa, mama. Lily the Mermaid and the rest of Lincoln's harem guided Lincoln into his room and onto the super extra large bed fit for Lincoln and his ever-expanding harem, and Lily the Mermaid closed and locked the door and the barrier activated. We were in for another night of wild lovemaking. Legitimately disgusting. I hate the fact that he feels the need to specify each time that all these people have massive pecs. Oh shit, wait, Lincoln is 11, they can't write this. Now, I feel bad making this video because I can't actually read the entire fanfiction and tell you all what I think. I just don't have the time, so I am truly sorry for that. But what I have done is read a few random chapters, and what I've learned is you don't need to read the entire fanfiction to know all about it. Each chapter, once you get into the thousands territory, follows the same structure. Enjoy my MS Paint skills as I teach you this. Phase 0, Introduction. This is the disgustingly long paragraph that just lists every single character in the chapter. Great! Completely useless, because only about 5 of them actually talk, but whatever. Phase 1, nothing. This is the part where one character says something like, "Oh, I can't wait to get to the planet," or "Boy, that was a lot of fun," and then every other character agrees mindlessly for about 1/10 of the chapter. If you took a shot every time a character said awesome or amazing in this phase, simply smelling your breath would make the average person die of alcohol poisoning. I call this phase nothing because every single line uttered here serves no purpose to the characters or the story. I can't wait to see what this food planet is like here. Me too! This will be fun. I'm excited for this one. Boy, me too. I have a feeling this will be fun and awesome as well. We don't have all day here, so I won't read you the whole thing, but just trust me when I tell you it's boring as all hell. Phase 2, Arrival. Finally, the gang arrives on the island. Now, the stage directions will describe the planet very vaguely, and then one character will parrot the stage directions exactly, because it will be very difficult to think of a new idea. James Dean doesn't have that kind of time. They spew more nonsense about, "Wow, this planet is cool," for a while, and then move on to Phase 3, the villain. The heroes of the story find out about the villain. In this chapter, it's Icky Vicky. Don't know who the fuck that is. Everyone freaks out for a while, and they talk about how evil the villain is. My favorite part is here when Lincoln says, Oh, Icky Vicky is more evil than ever. And everyone gasps. Doesn't really mean anything. Can you imagine if we found the Zodiac killer, and he was killing again, and the director of the FBI said, Oh, he's super evil now. Oh yeah, his evilness went way up. No one's gasping. That's not the shocking part. And yeah, maybe it's strange for me to compare whoever Icky Vicky is to the Zodiac killer, but I don't have a great defense, so I'm just going to move on. That brings us to Phase 4, the battle. One of the characters usually says, "Oh, I sense the villain." Never explains how, but they see the villain and they fight it. The villain attacks for no fucking reason, it just does, and then the good guys fire energy blasts at the bad guy. In this battle, 1 or 2 of the characters tend to transform. Now what this means is that they get a few inches taller and get a new sword, which takes about 2 or 3 giant paragraphs to describe. Side note, who the fuck is Sidney Burlington? Burlington is in Burlington Coat Factory? Now usually at this point, phases 3 and 4 are repeated a couple more times during the chapter, but sometimes there's a Phase 5. Ladies love James Dean. For some reason, chapters tend to end with women surrounding James and Lincoln. They defeat the villain, and then a bunch of women go up to them, massage their pecs, and say, "Wow, we want to make love to you." And then they do, and they join their harem. Still not fully sure what a harem is. I'm not all that eager to Google it. And that usually ends the chapter. It ends with some sentence like, "Then we all went to the bedroom." The fanfiction has some strange charm to it. Not the type of charm where it makes me actually want to read it, but the type of charm where I don't want to make fun of the guy who made it. I'm also not allowed to because he never tolerates bad opinions or bad criticism. Now, I don't know if that means that the criticism is bad quality, or if the criticism is negative. Either way, I'll make the criticism constructive. Hey, James, write less. I don't mean stop writing, but maybe just take a bit of time to make sure that every sentence is necessary before clicking publish. But I really can't hate on the guy too much. He's not doing anything wrong, not hurting anybody, it's all jokes. James, keep doing your thing if it makes you happy. And if anyone out there has actually read this entire thing, seriously, please contact me. I'm just curious if there's like a quick, digestible highlight reel of this whole thing. Because while I am fascinated by this entire thing, I'm also very much not in the position to give away over 1,000 hours of free time to this. And hey, most of the people who watch my stuff very much not subscribe, so if you made it through the whole video, I'm assuming you enjoyed it. So there's really no reason not to subscribe. It's a free way to support my stuff. I'd really appreciate it. Or like, or comment, or watch another video. Fuck, do all of them if you want. I'm not going to stop you. But thank you for watching, and have a good one.